Cherry Hill, Baltimore. If you ain't from around here, you'd best keep your head down, mind your business. Folks who live here know the rules, stay loyal, don't snitch, and never get caught in something that ain't your business. I was with Davey that night. We were just two dudes trying to make it through, not looking for no problems. Davey been my boy since we were kids. We've been hanging out at the corner store laughing about how crazy life could be sometimes. That's when it all went down. We were cutting through an alley planning to head home when this black SUV screeched around the corner. My instincts told me to run, but before I could move, the windows rolled down. I saw guns and then it was chaos. The flashes lit up the night, shots tearing through the air. I hit the ground, heart pounding, ears ringing. When the SUV peeled off, I turned to Davey, and that's when I saw him lying there. There was blood everywhere. The cops showed up, flashing lights painting the alley in blue and red. They pressed me hard, asked me all kinds of questions, but my head was spinning too much to answer right. I don't know nothing. I kept saying out. I didn't see their faces. They didn't look like they believed me, but eventually they let me go. The walk home was the longest walk of my life. Cherry Hill was buzzing the next day, people talking, rumors flying. Where was it? Wasn't random. The Cherry Hill Kings had beef with another crew, the Fulton Hill Syndicate. And Davey, he got caught up in a war he had no part in. But it got worse. My other boy Ronnie came over a few days later, his face serious. Man, we gotta talk, he said. He wouldn't look me in the eyes, which wasn't like him. What's up? He sighed, ran a hand over his head. I've been hearing some stuff and it don't sound too good. The King's thinking you a snitch, man. I couldn't believe it. Snitch? What the fuck you talking about, bro? I ain't talked to nobody. I was stunned. I hadn't told the cops a goddamn thing, but it didn't matter. Once people in the hill thought you were a snitch, you were as good as dead. After that, I started seeing that black SUV everywhere, parked down the block, rolling slow past my mom's house. It was like death waiting in the shadows. The real terror hit when I got a call late one night. I picked up, heart beating, and a voice on the other end whispered, "You think you safe? We watching snitch?" I couldn't sleep after that. Couldn't think straight. I knew I had to do something, but I felt trapped, like the whole hood was closing in on me. A few days later, Ronnie found me at the old playground where we used to hoop. His face was dark, eyes darting around like he expected someone to jump out at us. "Mike, listen," he said, voice cracking. "This ain't gonna stop until you find Matt." Matt, Davey's older brother, a dude who dipped out months ago leaving a mess behind him. He'd been running with the Kings, pushing product, but then he crossed them somehow. Stole from them or maybe snitched. Now they wanted him bad. Davey got killed because they couldn't get to Matt. "You serious? You want me to help turn in Davey's own brother?" Ronnie's jaw tightened. "What choice you got, man? It's you or him." I couldn't do it. Couldn't betray Davey like that. So I walked away from Ronnie, not sure if I was making the right call or sealing my fate. That night, I was closing up the gas station where I worked when 3 guys walked in. One had a scar down his cheek, Scarface, he the one who'd been following me. He leaned over the counter, voice cold. "Mike, right? Snitches disappear around here." I felt my legs turn to jelly, but I forced myself to stand my ground. "I ain't no snitch, man." He grinned, but there was no humor in it. Too late for that. He nodded to his boys and they started to close in. But before they could grab me, a voice rang out from the door. "Back the fuck off." We all turned. I couldn't believe it. Matt stood there looking rough but alive. He had a gun in his hand and his eyes were wild. He stepped forward, aiming the gun at Scarface. "Let him go," he said. "This is my problem." Scarface's eyes narrowed and he smirked. "Fine, let's end this." It all went to hell fast. Matt tried to hold his ground, but his hand was shaking. Scarface lunged, and gunshots lit up the small store. When the dust settled, Matt was on the ground, bleeding out. Scarface and his crew, gone, just like shadows in the night. He looked up at me, eyes full of regret. "Tell Ma I'm sorry," he whispered, and then he was gone, another life lost to this endless cycle of violence. The sirens came way too late. I sat there covered in blood. I realized then that in the hill, innocence didn't mean shit. The streets made their own rules, and you either learned to survive or you didn't. Davey was gone, Matt was gone, and me, I'd never be the same again. The black SUV was still out there, and the Kings would still be watching, but I wasn't running anymore. I'd face whatever was coming next.